And look who's here, Economist Ben Stein with me now. Good to see you, Ben.
Honored to be here.
Wow, finally President barnstorming for tax cuts. What do you think?
I think we need tax cuts in terms of ending, not just cutting, but ending the corporate tax rate at all. There should be no tax on corporate earnings. It should be taxed directly to the owners of the corporation. So that should just go right out the window. The economy is incredibly strong, unbelievably strong. I don't think we need tax cuts for the rich. I don't think we need tax cuts for the upper middle class. The lower middle class is not paying any tax already. The main push I think we need is on getting rid of the corporate income tax. But let's not kid ourselves. This economy is incredibly strong, and even with the tax setup that Mr. Obama left us, we are a very, very, very strong economy, and we are pulling the whole rest of the world with our strength.
You know, a reality check from Tim Ryan for the Democrats, right? He sounded like a Kennedy Democrat. I mean, 5% growth is what John F. Kennedy was talking about, and all the platforms. I know, but all the platforms. My point is, all the platforms of the Democrats since the 50s up until Obama were about small government and tax cuts, right?
Well, President Kennedy, whom I'm probably the only person on this set old enough to remember President Kennedy, wanted to have important tax cuts. He never got them, actually, before he was assassinated, but then President Johnson pushed them through. And we should have corporate tax cuts for corporations. Yeah. But we don't need corporate tax cuts for rich people. Rich people are already terribly, terribly rich. And by the way, something you were mentioning as the show was beginning was the large number of people who are unemployed and are voluntarily unemployed. That is not really President Trump's fault in any way whatsoever.
Not saying that. We're not saying voluntarily unemployed, but, you know, he is trying to get jobs for them. That was the point. We have breaking news for you, Ben. Wall Street Journal reporting Special Counsel Robert Mueller is examining what role, if any, former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn may have played in a private effort to obtain Hillary Clinton's emails from Russian hackers. That's according to people familiar with the matter. Ben, you hear the news there. What do you think?
I think that Mr. Flynn is in a lot of trouble. I hope he has very, very good lawyers. If he's trying to get information that was secret or that was even colorably secret from Russia, I should have almost said the Soviet Union. I wonder why I thought of that. There's something seriously wrong. He is a very aggressive guy. Obviously, Mr. Trump had a fondness for him. He's gotten Mr. Trump into nothing but trouble. I'd just like to see him get some really, really good lawyers. I think some good lawyers are going to be able to beat everything that's going on with him. But he's a guy who signed on trying to do the best he could. He just made a number of mistakes. You
know, Ben, I'm so sorry we had to get to that breaking news. I'd like you to finish your thought. Let's give you some time to finish your thought before. Go ahead.
My thought, basically, is that the economy is doing very, very well. I'm sorry that there's all this brouhaha about Gary Cohn and about him possibly leaving the president's staff. I don't think he understood that Mr. Trump is the most anti-racist, non-hating person that there's ever been in the White House. This is a man who does not have a racist bone in his body, and the idea of calling him a racist and people saying, oh, we've got to quit because he's a racist, it just makes me sick, because this is a guy who is a pure soul where racism is concerned.
You know, I just want to get back to Tim Ryan, because those voices have been squashed, the, you know, tax cut voices and the growth voices in the Democrat Party for some time. Ben, watching this unfold for the last years, it looks like it's the Democrats that were in the identity crisis. You know, the Obama and Elizabeth Warren, you didn't build that scolds. All government, all the time Democrats building these regulatory mausoleums for the economy. I mean, the Democrats were for growth. They were for smaller government tax cuts every presidential season from Kennedy through the year 2004, 2008, right?
Well, FDR wasn't for that, and Truman wasn't for that. But the Democrats had a very responsible position about tax cuts and about tax in general for a long, long time. I have to say, Senator Warren is the biggest gift the Republican Party could have ever had, because she talks more nonsense and more obvious nonsense than any person has ever talked on the national stage. She and Maxine Waters are really up there together and talking nonsense. If the Republicans were paying them, they couldn't do a better job for the Republicans.
You know, Ben, you know, Trump is launching this push in Missouri. He won it by 19 points. It's home to Democrat Senator Claire McCaskill. She faces a tough 2018 re-election fight, right?
very, very tough, and I think that Mr. Trump is going to do extremely well there, and he will pull the party along with her. I would not want to be, well, I guess if Ms. McCaskill is a senator, she gets a good retirement plan and she can become a lobbyist. But Missouri is going to be a solidly Republican state for a good long time to come.
Good to see you, Ben Stein. We love having you on. Come back soon.
It's an honor to be here, and God bless those nice people in Texas. Let's hope things go well for them.
Thank you, Ben.